Welcome to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for latest updates. Before Richard Rawlings had private jets, fancy tequila, and million-dollar cars, he was just a regular kid from Fort Worth, Texas. He loved two things more than anything: fast cars and being successful. He started loving cars when he was really young. When Richard was only 14 years old, he already bought his first car, fixed it up, and sold it for more money. But what made Richard special wasn't just that he was good with cars. It was that he worked really, really hard. His family didn't have a lot of money, and nobody gave him a business. He had to work many different jobs, like being a firefighter, helping sick people, being a police officer, and working at an ad company. While he did all these jobs, he also bought and sold cars on the side to make extra money. Every paycheck he got went toward his big dream of having his own car shop someday. That dream came true in the early 2000s when Richard opened a place called Gas Monkey Garage in Dallas, Texas. His goal was simple: build really cool custom cars that looked amazing, drove super fast, and made people turn their heads to stare. But Richard's shop was different from other car shops. Most car shops took a really long time to build expensive cars for rich people who collected them. Richard had a different idea. He wanted to build lots of cars quickly, with lots of energy and a cool attitude. He wanted Gas Monkey to be more than just a car shop. He wanted it to be a lifestyle brand before anyone even knew what that meant in the car world. It didn't take long before people started noticing the garage loud style and Richard's over-the-top personality. But the real big break came in 2012 when a TV show called Fast and Loud started on the Discovery Channel. The TV show followed Richard and his team as they bought old cars, fixed them up, and built wild custom cars. They had to work really fast with tight deadlines and not much money to spend. The show wasn't just about fixing cars. It was about making deals, having drama, and making lots of money. From that moment on, Richard wasn't just a guy who owned a garage anymore. He became a famous person who sold cars and also sold the dream of American hard work and glamour. His empire was just getting started, but it all began with a kid, a wrench, and the courage to bet everything on himself. Nobody handed him his success. He earned every bit of it by buying and selling one car at a time. When Fast and Loud became really popular on TV, Richard saw something that other people in his situation couldn't see. The TV show wasn't the end goal. It was like a giant billboard advertisement. Gas Monkey Garage was now famous all over America, and Richard didn't waste any time turning it into something much bigger. The walls of his garage couldn't hold back his big dreams and plans. He imagined Gas Monkey not just as a place people saw on TV, but as a huge brand empire with his name and monkey logo on everything from t-shirts to bottles of tequila. First, he started selling merchandise, and it was a huge hit. Shirts, hats, posters, and even garage tools with a grinning monkey logo sold like crazy. Fans didn't just watch his show on TV, they wore Gas Monkey clothes. Richard built a whole lifestyle around his brand, creating the kind of loyal fans that most TV networks can only dream about. He wasn't just selling car builds anymore. He was selling the Gas Monkey attitude and way of life. Then he opened Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, a huge restaurant and live music place in Dallas that became a tourist spot for car lovers. It brought in fans from all around the world who wanted to see where the magic happened. Soon after, more TV shows followed, like Garage Rehab and Demolition Theater, making the Gas Monkey universe even bigger. Richard's energy was contagious, and his business instincts were razor sharp, but he never stopped hustling and working hard. He launched Gas Monkey Energy Drinks, which was a bold move into a very competitive market. Some people thought it was too much and wondered what a car guy knew about making energy drinks. Richard didn't care what they thought. He kept building, expanding, and pushing forward with new ideas. By this point, Gas Monkey wasn't just a garage anymore. It had become a money-making machine powered by branding, media, and taking big risks. Richard was everywhere you looked. He was doing autograph signings, speaking at car shows, doing podcast interviews, and going on press tours. Every appearance he made fed back into his empire and made it stronger. With every deal he made, every product he sold, and every handshake, Richard made one thing very clear. He wasn't just fixing cars anymore. He was building a legacy that would last forever, one brand deal at a time. While Gas Monkey Garage stayed the main hub of activity that people saw on camera, Richard kept one part of his world almost completely hidden from everyone: his personal car collection. Hidden behind closed doors in a private warehouse, this amazing collection of cars was the crown jewel of his entire empire. Most people never got to see it, but Richard spent endless time carefully choosing and organizing every single car. This wasn't just a place where he kept cars to show off. It was like a strategic vault filled with cars worth millions of dollars, vintage muscle cars, super rare supercars, and a few personal weird cars he refused to sell. Among all these amazing cars was a perfect 1932 Ford Coupe that Richard often calls the soul of his entire collection. It's not the most expensive car he owns, but it's the one that started his whole journey with cars. The garage is home to Ferraris, McLarens, Porsches, and many examples of American muscle cars that cost six figures to restore and fix up. Some of these cars never appeared on Fast and Loud because he kept them as private investments or personal trophies that meant something special to him. A few cars are even rumored to still be in the process of being built. These are vehicles that Richard plans to flip and sell or feature on his shows when the timing is just right. People who know about his collection say it's worth over $6 million, and Richard treats it like a living portfolio of investments. He's constantly buying new cars, selling others, and moving vehicles around, using them not just as valuable assets, but as leverage for his brand. Every single car in his collection has a story behind it, and Richard knows exactly how to turn those stories into cold hard cash. And here's the interesting twist about his collection: not all the cars are perfect and shiny. Some are rough and need work. Some are in the middle of being built and fixed. But in Richard's eyes, that's exactly the point. His collection isn't about having perfect, polished cars. It's about potential and what they could become, just like his entire empire. Because when you live life in the fast lane like Richard does, your garage isn't just a place to store things. It's like a treasure chest full of possibilities. While most car lovers hit the highway to drive their cars, Richard flies higher than everyone else, literally. Private jets have become a key part of his business toolkit. He doesn't just use them for luxury. He uses them for speed, staying hidden from the public, and making business deals. Whether he's flying to Las Vegas for a car auction or going to Mexico for a tequila business partnership, Richard doesn't do middle seats on commercial flights. He travels like a rich business mogul because by now, that's exactly what he is. His frequent charter flights and partnerships with aviation companies allow him to move between different business ventures without dealing with the hassle of regular commercial flights. And it's not just about convenience and comfort. It's about having control over his time, his image, and his access to important people. While fans often see glimpses of these flights on his social media, complete with custom whiskey glasses, leather seats, and funny captions, there's way more happening in the air than just taking selfies. Sources close to the Gas Monkey empire say that Richard uses these flights to close important business deals. A quick jet ride to a car show, a sit-down meeting with a startup CEO, or a site visit for a new Gas Monkey venue. These aren't just fun joy rides through the sky. They are like mobile boardrooms where real business gets done. And let's not forget about the Gas Monkey Mansion, Richard's Texas estate with multiple garages, a swimming pool that looks like it belongs in a fancy Vegas resort, and enough square footage to host an entire car show. The mansion is part home and part headquarters, a reflection of a man who never stops mixing work and play together. Whether it's the $100,000 driveway builds or the fleet of fancy cars waiting to pick up VIP guests, Richard has turned every single inch of his life into an extension of the Gas Monkey brand. This isn't just spending money for the sake of spending money. It's marketing. It's leverage. It's complete domination of his industry. And Richard is just getting started with his plans. When Richard saw his face on a billboard, he didn't just see fame and recognition. He saw a golden opportunity to make money. And like any smart business mogul, he turned that recognition into money-making streams outside of just his garage. First came his merchandise empire, then live events and shows. But one of his most calculated and smart moves was getting into the alcohol business. Gas Monkey Energy Drinks was Richard's first attempt at getting into the beverage world. With slick-looking cans, rock star branding, and a loud launch campaign, it fit perfectly with the Gas Monkey vibe and attitude. But his real power play came later with Gas Monkey Tequila. Celebrity alcohol brands are a booming industry that makes tons of money, and Richard dove in head first without looking back. Premium branding, upscale packaging, and clever marketing positioned the tequila as way more than just a gimmick or joke. It was another strong pillar in his brand empire. But that's not all he did to make money. Over the years, Richard quietly invested his money in multiple ventures and businesses. From tech startups to automotive clothing brands, he spread his money around smart. He partnered with garage product companies, sponsored race cars, and even explored creating a luxury car care line under the Gas Monkey name. Every single move he made was part of a long-term game plan, building wealth through licensing deals instead of just physical labor. He also tested the waters with Gas Monkey Live, a massive music venue in Dallas that was meant to blend car culture with nightlife and entertainment. Though it eventually had to close down, the concept proved that Richard was thinking way beyond just building cars. He wanted to become a household name in the entertainment industry. While many people saw Fast and Loud as the peak of his career, Richard treated it like just a trailer for the real movie he was making. A movie where he wrote the script, picked the cast, and owned the production company. In a world where most car guys just wrench on cars for dollars, Richard crafted a machine that prints money. Most people know Richard from his TV show Fast and Loud. But what they don't know is just how much money that show and its global syndication around the world made for him personally. At its highest point, Fast and Loud wasn't just another car show on TV. It was the Discovery Channel's most prized possession, and Richard, being the face of it all, negotiated his contracts like the star he was. People inside the industry report that Richard had one of the most aggressive and favorable contracts in automotive television. Not only did he earn a generous paycheck for each episode, but he also got a cut of licensing deals, international rights, and merchandising tied directly to the show. When the brand expanded into spin-offs, appearances, and promotional tie-ins, Richard got his slice of every pie. He wasn't just talent working for the network. He was a stakeholder who owned part of the success. Discovery Channel got more than just good TV ratings from Richard's show. They got a brand that people could wear and buy. Gas Monkey t-shirts flew off store shelves faster than they could make them. The garage became a place that fans made pilgrimages to visit, like a holy site for car lovers. Tour buses showed up regularly, and every camera zoomed in on the man in the dark sunglasses and leather jacket. Richard knew exactly how to sell the image and lifestyle. What few people realize is how quickly that TV money turned into multimillion-dollar leverage for other business deals. Richard bought properties, invested in other businesses, funded Gas Monkey expansions, and built his personal car collection using the same cash flow from the show. Fast and Loud wasn't just a TV show that entertained people. It was venture capital disguised as entertainment. By the time the series ended its run, Richard had transformed himself from a TV star into a TV boss. A man with real influence, solid infrastructure, and multiple streams of income. He didn't just build cars on screen for people to watch. He built an entire empire off the back of that success. The dark sunglasses, the leather jackets, the big talk, and the even bigger ego. That's the Richard most fans know and recognize. But behind all that bravado and showmanship is a completely different man. One that rarely shows up on screen or in public. One who's more of a strategist than a showman who just performs for crowds. Friends and business colleagues say that when the cameras are turned off, Richard is far quieter than his TV persona. He spends time observing situations, calculating his next moves, and plotting his future business ventures. He plays the loud character really well because it serves his brand and makes him money. But in his private life, he's focused, sometimes very intense, and always hunting for the next big opportunity that will make him more successful. He's known to obsess over the tiniest details in business deals, contract clauses, logistics, and branding placement decisions. The sunglasses work like a shield to hide behind, and the jokes work as a diversion from his real business mind. The truth is that Richard built his public image like he builds a car, sleek and shiny on the outside, but carefully engineered underneath to win races. This two-sided personality helped him survive in a cutthroat business world that eats people alive. He's taken big hits over the years, failed business ventures, expensive lawsuits, and media backlash. But he always bounced back stronger than before. Why does he keep winning? Because he plans 5 steps ahead of everyone else. He doesn't just chase trends that are popular. He creates the trends that other people follow. Even his public mistakes and failures, like the short-lived Gas Monkey Live venue or the backlash over certain car flips, didn't destroy his career. He adapted to the situation, shifted gears like a race car driver, and kept rolling forward with new plans. Because Richard isn't just a car guy who fixes engines. He's a marketing machine that never stops running. The man who walks into a boardroom for serious business meetings is not the same guy who's slamming beers and joking around on screen. And that difference is completely by design and on purpose. Because the most valuable thing Richard ever built in his entire career wasn't a car, a garage, or even a TV show. It was the Richard Rawlings brand and image. To the general public, Richard appears to be always on, rock music blasting, car burnout smoking, and tequila toasts at every celebration. But that lifestyle isn't as effortless and easy as it looks to fans watching from the outside. Behind the curtain of his $20 million public image is a man constantly juggling high-stakes business ventures, camera crews following him around, and fan expectations that never stop growing. What the TV shows didn't reveal to viewers were the real business headaches and problems he faced behind the scenes. Richard has dealt with multiple expensive lawsuits over the years, some involving former business partners, licensing disputes with companies, and even venue shutdowns that cost him money. The most famous problem was the Gas Monkey Live venue in Dallas, which had to shut its doors under financial pressure and legal troubles. It was a big swing for the fences that turned into a very public miss and embarrassment. Then there were the employee shakeups and drama. From behind-the-scenes problems at Gas Monkey Garage to tension with TV production crews, not everything ran as smoothly as a freshly tuned car engine. But Richard rarely aired that dirty laundry in public or talked about his problems. He handled setbacks the same way he handled his car builds: fix it, flip it, and move on to the next project. Fans also don't get to see the physical and mental toll that his lifestyle takes on him personally. The constant travel, the demanding shoot schedules, and the non-stop branding work is exhausting. It's a grind that never stops. Richard has admitted in interviews that the hustle left him physically and mentally drained, especially in the later years of Fast and Loud. The pressure to stay relevant in a fast-moving industry, to outdo his last car build, and to keep the brand alive and growing wore on him over time. But he never completely broke down because quitting isn't part of his DNA or personality. Every stumble and failure was just another chapter in the Gas Monkey playbook and story. He knew how to bounce back from adversity, and more importantly, he knew how to spin failure into fuel for his next success. The Richard brand isn't built on being perfect all the time. It's built on perseverance and never giving up. To most people, Richard is exactly what he appears to be on the surface: a loud, larger-than-life car guy with a taste for rock music and rebellion against the system. But those people who are close to him personally tell a completely different story. One about a man who's constantly walking the fine line between his public persona and his private reality. The Richard you meet at a car show is flashy, fun, and confident in everything he does. The one behind closed doors is methodical, sometimes reserved and quiet, and definitely always thinking about his next business move. Former employees and business partners say he's far more measured and strategic than his TV personality suggests to the public. He's a master of media manipulation and controlling his image. The dark sunglasses, the catchphrases he's famous for, and the wild road trips were all part of a carefully crafted image that he created on purpose. Richard knew that in a world of shrinking attention spans, a larger-than-life character sells products and makes money. So he created that character and stuck to it religiously. But that success came with a personal price that most people don't see. Being Richard Rawlings all the time meant keeping up appearances 24/7, always being on and entertaining, and always playing the role that people expected. That meant less time to unwind and relax, less time to reflect on his life, and less time to just be a regular guy from Texas who loved old cars. Privately, people say Richard is known to be loyal to a fault with the people he cares about. He's generous with his crew and employees, passionate about his car builds, and fiercely protective of his brand and reputation. He's been burned by bad business deals and betrayed by friends he trusted, but he rarely airs that drama in public or talks about it. Because, as he once said in an interview, nobody wants to see how the sausage gets made in the kitchen. They just want to enjoy the sizzle and taste. The Richard Rawlings brand may be loud and attention-grabbing, but the man behind it is quietly building a legacy that will last long after the cameras stop rolling. Richard didn't just build a business empire over the years. He built a money-making machine that doesn't stop running, even when he's sleeping. And even though Fast and Loud ended its TV run, the Gas Monkey legacy continues to expand far beyond just television shows and entertainment. Today, Richard has spread his business interests across multiple industries and markets. From his booming tequila line, which now ships to stores all across the nation, to boutique real estate projects, exclusive car auctions, branded clothing and merchandise, and even rumored international business ventures overseas. His business reach is truly global now. He successfully turned Gas Monkey from just a garage in Dallas into a complete lifestyle empire that touches many parts of people's lives. Even his personal car collection has grown tremendously in both value and legendary status among car collectors. While many of his high-profile custom builds remain tucked away from public view, some are occasionally showcased at exclusive events or used in branded promotional campaigns. They are not just cars sitting in a garage anymore. They are valuable assets, storytelling tools for his brand, and business leverage that he can use to make deals. But here's the interesting twist in Richard's story. He isn't done building his empire yet. Sources close to him suggest that he's working on a major media comeback, possibly launching his own digital series or streaming platform. He's been teasing the next chapter of his career on social media, hinting at more creative freedom, bigger and better car builds, and a new kind of behind-the-scenes access that fans never had before. His goal now isn't just fame or flashy success. It's building a legacy that will outlast the camera crews and TV shows. Richard may have started his career flipping junky old cars for small profits, but now he flips entire industries and changes how business is done. From working in back-alley garages to flying on private jet runways, he's shown the whole world what American hustle and determination looks like. With tattoos, tequila, engine torque, and all the attitude that comes with success. And as long as there's fuel in the tank and dreams in his heart, Richard isn't just living the American dream anymore. He's actively engineering it and building it every single day for others to follow.